discussion for today. Before we start, let us pray. Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sins against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Here are some reminders during this video lesson. First, watch this video till end so you will get acquainted with our lesson. Second, be sure to participate on this lesson by having your pen and paper with you.
To start with, let me show you some basic arm and feet positions in folk dance. For sure, you know these steps or positions already. For the arm position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. For the fifth position, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, and fifth position. Now, will you please stand and join me as we execute the arm and feet positions correspondingly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How did you find the activity? As you can see, these basic arm and feet positions have something to do with our lesson for today. In terms of, each arm position corresponds to each foot position. Same is true with corresponding parts of a triangle. After this video lesson, you are expected to define congruent triangles, list corresponding parts of congruent triangles, and identify the measure of the unknown part of a triangle. What do we mean when we say triangle congruence? When do triangles congruent? How can we say that two triangles are congruent? Everywhere we go, we often see objects, designs, and patterns having the same shape and pattern. Look around you. Have you seen triangles with the same size and shape? Congruence means same size and same shape. Therefore, congruent triangles are two triangles with the same size and shape. Two triangles are congruent if the 6 parts of the triangles are congruent to the 6 corresponding parts of the second triangle. This means that the two triangles are congruent if all pairs of corresponding angles are equal and all pairs of corresponding sides are also equal. Take a look on these two given examples. Take note, same markings indicate that these parts are congruent. The two triangles are congruent when the sides with the same markings are congruent and the angles with the same measures are also congruent. Now let us name the congruent parts of the triangles. Remember, the way you read the first triangle must be the same way as you read the second triangle. The order is important in naming the parts and triangles. These are the corresponding angles in triangle DNA and triangle TMO. These are the corresponding parts of the two given triangles. For corresponding angles, we have angle D is congruent to angle T, angle N is congruent to angle M, angle A is congruent to angle O. For corresponding sides, we have side DN is congruent to side MP, side AD is congruent to side OP, and side AN is congruent to side MO. Therefore, the two triangles are congruent. Thus, we have triangle DNA is congruent to triangle TMO. Let's have another example. In this figure, the two triangles are congruent and the corresponding angles are angle A is congruent to angle D, angle B is congruent to angle E, and angle C is congruent to angle F. For corresponding sides, we have side AB is congruent to side BE, side BC is congruent to side BF, and side AC is congruent to side BF. Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Now that you learned how to identify the congruent parts of congruent triangles, let us now proceed to identifying the unknown measure in each given triangle. In this figure, triangle LMN is congruent to triangle OPN. As you can see, side MN corresponds to side PN. Side LN corresponds to side ON. Since side ON measures 7 units, therefore, side LN is also equal to 7 units. Another example, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. In the figure, angle A corresponds to angle E, and angle B corresponds to angle D. Angle ACB corresponds to angle ECB, and these angles are congruent. From the given figure, since angle ECD measures 55 degrees and it is congruent to angle ACB, therefore, H is equal to 55 degrees. Let's have an activity. Now, will you get paper and pen and complete each congruent statement? I'll give you 1 minute to answer the following. Here are the correct answers. Kindly check your own work. Fantastic! If you have observed, the answers are in order the same way the given statements are written. Now it's time to do the activity on the Learning Activity Sheet, which is the flagship of my research innovation in mathematics, entitled Project IS. This is anchored to easy and simplicity in doing math. Answer the activities, apply what you learned, sum it up, and enhance what you have learned for today. I will give you 2 minutes to answer your activity. activity. Now, compare your outputs in this activity with the answers presented on the screen. How did you find the activity? Yes, it's simple and enjoying, isn't it? For your assessment, have your paper and pen with you to answer the following questions. Write only the letter of your answer. 1. If two triangles are congruent, then A. Their corresponding parts are congruent. B. Only their corresponding angles are congruent. C. Only their corresponding sides are congruent. And letter D. They have the same shapes. Very good! The correct answer is A. Their corresponding parts are congruent. 2. Given triangle DEF is congruent to triangle KJI, side JK is congruent to blank. A. Side ED. B. Side FD. C. Side DE. Or D. Side EF. Correct! The answer is A. Side ED. 3. Triangle DTS is congruent to triangle EXO. Which of the following is not equivalent to the correspondence indicated? A. Angle TSB corresponds to angle XOE. B. Angle TBS corresponds to angle XEO. C. Angle BST corresponds to angle EOX. Or D. Angle STB corresponds to angle OEX. Exactly. The answer is D. Angle STB corresponds to angle OEX. 4. In the accompanying figure, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEC. Find the measure of angle D. A. 67 degrees. B. 19 degrees. C. 12 degrees. D. 94 degrees. Indeed, the answer is 19 degrees. 5. Triangle SLM is congruent to triangle FAT. Which of the following is not equivalent to the correspondence indicated? A. Angle MLS corresponds to angle TAF. B. Angle SLM corresponds to angle FAT. C. Angle SML corresponds to angle FAT. Or D. Angle MLS corresponds to angle TAF. Yes, the answer is C. Angle SML corresponds to angle FAT. Were you able to get all the correct answers? If so, very good. For your assignment, create your own pair of triangles using the following side measures. 8 by 10 by 12 inches using used cardboard, a pair of scissors or a cutter, ruler, and pencil. Name your triangles using your initials. Measure the angles using your protractor and identify the corresponding angles and sides. Submit your output on the schedule of the next distribution of module. Reminder, take extra care in using your cutter or scissor to avoid injury. That ends our virtual discussion. This is your teacher in math, Ma'am Leslie Yambao. See you next time for another fun learning math video lessons.